Population is an important issue of concern in contemporary society. This is because in terms of size and composition, it has far-reaching implications for change, development and quality of life in any society. Studies have shown that population is a major indicator and resource for development and also the prime beneficiary of development in society, as it constitutes the bulk of the producers of goods and services as well as major consumers of goods and services. This presupposes that the population of any given nation is the major determinant of the size of the national and international market for investment. This may have accounted for the reason most developed countries of the world invest money and energy in mapping out clear population policies that will help them to make informed decisions for the overall well-being of the citizenry. In Nigeria, the issue of population has been a controversial one spanning decades. The last time the country held a national population census was in 2006. This was followed by previous ones held in 1963, 1973, and 1991. The country has been struggling to hold another one but has so far not been able to do so due to funding challenges. Nigeria is by far the most populated country in Africa. Latest forecast by the National Population Commission (NPC) and the National Bureau of Statistics (NBC) put the current figure of Nigeria's population at 993,392,517. MERSO, the world body United Nations, projected that Nigeria may likely overtake the United States and become the third most populous countries in the world shortly before year 2050, going by the growth figure of 2% per year. But the projected growth is causing real concern among policymakers, who express fears that the growth could have adverse effects on the already strained national infrastructures, social services, housing, as well as healthcare facilities.
When you take cognizance of the inadequate infrastructures that is provided by the government that is on the ground in Nigeria, and it becomes very frightening.
A public affairs analyst, Mr. Amsa Shulanke, however, believed that the country can turn its high population into an asset rather than liability by following the success stories of countries like the United States, China, India, Japan, Indonesia, among others, that have clear-cut policies on population.
Population is market for commerce purposes, and it's also manpower for industrialization and economic development, but whereby it is not properly tailored and utilized. Because when you have a population of untrained and unskilled people, it can become a nightmare. You know, like what we have in some parts of the country, the northeast and the south.
Surprisingly, even Nigeria's lawmakers do not agree on the kind of population policy to be adopted.
Even if it is okay that we continue to add 5 million population on a yearly basis, the truth is that we must sit down and tell ourselves, how do we accommodate this population in the next 50 years? That is the planning. And the policies will take into account our traditions, our culture, our faith. No one will develop policies outside this.
Many believe that the secular nature of the nation and its religious and cultural antecedents could be responsible for the seeming population explosion. But the special advisor to Governor Rauf Aregbesola on culture and tourism, Mrs. Taiwo Oluga, maintained that it is pertinent for the country to garner the benefits of its rapidly growing population. This, she noted, can be achieved through population management program.
The olden days, it used to be that you have like 12, 16, 20 children, because it was all farming, so they will be useful at the farm anyway. So it was to our advantage in the olden days. Likewise, now it can be. Let people be creative at their own angle, to be creative. Think of what you can do that can make Nigeria to move forward, and especially the made in Nigeria goods. Let's start patronizing it, let's start making it, and let's start using it.
Speaking in the same vein, Mr. Shulanke identified critical areas such as agricultural sector as well as the education sectors as those that need more immediate attention to avoid food crisis.
As we heard now, we have shortage in food supply, we're not self-sufficient in food. So when we'll have 250, 300 or 270 million people, what will happen? Given to the fact that the arable land size will continue to deplete, our housing policy is not there, so more people are going to be homeless, more people are going to be have hunger, more people are going to have less education.
A primary healthcare expert, Mrs. Sherifat Alamu, suggests the need to integrate people's belief, attitudes, and behavioral practices into health promotion programs. According to her, the advantages derivable from embracing a well-thought-out population control programs are enormous for the women, children, and the country at large.
When you consider the advantages of family planning to the mother, it reduces the number of the risk a woman can have during pregnancy, labor, and puerperium. It prolongs the life of the mother. It reduces the number of deaths that we can have as a result of pregnancy. And it also helps the mother to contribute her own quota to development of her environment. You see, if we are overpopulated, we will not be able to send our children to a standard school.
Analysts express the hope that it is not too late for Nigeria government and Nigerians as well to put in place long-term policies that will turn the population crisis into huge benefits for the citizenry and the country at large. Oluchi Amuja for Dateline.